What's up, you beautiful person? It's your boy Micah. If you're new here, consider hitting subscribe, become part of the real fam. Let's get into today's video. Today we're going to be talking with my beautiful mom. This is Mama Dukes. Mom is doing much better. So to everybody out there who was concerned about my mom, I appreciate the kind words and support. Mom's doing better. We're not going to get all into her business, but she's doing better. So today's video, we're going to talk a little bit. Don't mind the noise in the background, it's the dog playing with a ball. I'm going to talk today about parents of trans kids, and we're going to discuss from the trans person as the child perspective as well as the parents' perspective, and just kind of give you guys some tips and perspective, because that's what we do here, is tips and perspective so that you can live freely in reality. Alright, Mama Mike.
Well, hello everyone, and thank you again for your support and prayers and the love. I appreciate it. You know, I have no idea what he said, but you know, I'm doing much better. And I thank the Lord and thank you guys. And go ahead, Mike.
All right, so when I first came out to you as, well, not that I even came out to you, you actually are the one that approached me about, do you remember that, when we had that conversation about me transitioning? What was going through your mind? How does it feel I feel like a lot of times in community I see a lot of teenagers, young adults, like, you know, younger than me and even my age, who talk about their parents not accepting them or respecting their pronouns, respecting them as, you know, coming into their own as a transgender person. So like, how, from a parent's perspective, how was it for you? Like, what did you feel internally? Like, what was going through your mind as I started transitioning?
Well, Michael, I'm going to be honest with you. I started watching shows to understand more, because, what was that show called?
I Am Kate.
Yes. I started watching that because I wanted to understand where you was coming from, where you standing, because, of course, my late husband was the one that came and said, you know, he's not a she, he's a he. And I see it, and open your eyes, because he's coming out of his shell, who he is. So I started watching the show to understand it, and until I came and said, you know what, now I understand. You're a person that see yourself inside of you and came out who you are, and made you happy. So I was seeing that. I was seeing it since you was born. You know, when all of us as humans, when we're born, of course we're born with pieces of what we have, you know, of our private areas. It doesn't mean that, I feel anyways, it doesn't mean that you're this and you're that. It doesn't work that way, because in this world, in God's eyes also as well, I feel in my heart and do know that we are creatures in this world. That makes sense? You have to be who you feel, who you see yourself as a being. And I have to respect that and still love you even more. I love you more because, number one, you're my son. Number two, you're my child. You're my baby. I'm always going to see you as a baby.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I know you're a young adult, good looking.
Of course, she's saying that because, you know, she's the good looking one, right?
I guess. I don't know. It's just you joking. But when I saw who you was coming and becoming, and saw that you was happy, or you was getting there, and I know you was afraid, because I saw that too. And I wanted to give you the support, the protection, because in this world that we live in, it's a cruel world. And we have to show more love to one another. So for whoever in this world. And when I saw who you became, you know, a person, a human being, a creator, giving, loving, respectful, you know, wild, sensitive. And this is who you are. This is what I see. You know, intelligent, you know, smart, finding more things to do, you're creative. You're a creative person. And I have to respect that. My fear was, as a parent, was because, like I said, in this world, there's cruelty, you know, of any kind, of everything, you know, racism, anything. That was my fear. But as the older and the you was getting, and the more that I was seeing who you was becoming, you know, not like certain people for whether they are like trashy or lame, but
Lame.
I was in the old school. But the way you became and all that, honestly, I am proud to say you are my son. I say it to you. I say it to the world. I say it to bigger than life itself.
Yeah.
And I am so happy and blessed that God gave me you because we don't choose.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was blessed and still am blessed. And pray that I could see you get older and older as the years go by.
What was going through your mind though as you were watching me go through changes? Did you feel like, was there ever moments where, because I think we've had this conversation actually before, where there was moments where you felt like you were losing me, like you were losing the daughter that you had, and now having a son in a sense.
You know, it's weird. No, because it's not that I wasn't losing the person. I was gaining a person that I saw that who you were from inside.
Yeah.
And I had to let you find yourself. My fear was, like I said, because the outer, the world, the certain people. Cause remember, there's people in this world that are evil, that don't believe or don't understand. And I honestly say that when a person is born, the person, whether it's a male or a female, you have to become who you feel inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to bring that out of your shell, who you are, and respect yourself. So people respect you, like I do. If you're my son, I respect you.
Yeah.
Because you're my child.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I taught you a lot about that because in this world, like I said, it's about cruelty. So I was more afraid of the people out there.
So you were more afraid of how the world would treat me.
Exactly.
Versus than how you felt personally about me.
Yeah, and because people sometimes, like we say, you know, like sex.
Yeah.
You know, or gender. Let's say gender because sex is, yes, please.
My God.
I gotta make people laugh. Come on, we gotta laugh a little. But a gender is who you become. Like, example, if I'm a female, which I am, right? Because I know in my heart I am, Lord, this is who I am. You're a male. When you was born, I saw that boy. You understand? Has nothing to do with the you know, the penis or the vagina. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what? You got the best of both worlds. That makes sense? Like, I don't want to confuse people, or I don't want people to think I'm confused. You was born, okay? And everybody said, well, you have a daughter. And I'm like, I didn't see that. I saw a person, and you gotta remember, when we have names for our children, you know, to me it was just a name. It's not a name. It's who you become. That makes sense?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, Micah. No, it's the person that you become. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I just said that I loved you more and I supported you. Yeah, it was a big shock, but it was because I think it's because society, the way we think, it's like, you know, female, male, or produce this, that, and it doesn't work that way because a lot of families don't produce neither.
Oh, you mean like having children?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of families don't even have that, you know, so it's different. And it's like I said, we all creatures in this world. We're creatures, you know, and we just gotta see who we are, who we wanna go. It's like you guys, when you guys gave me that hope, you know, I'm sick, you know, I have heart disease, and I'm trying to, you know, to be strong for myself and think about, it's what God says. I'm very religious, and I want to see you guys get older and grow and go forward in life, you know, and everything, you know, always dream and achieve your dream. That's what I want to see for you.
So, what advice would you have for, let's say, these guys that are or even trans women who are coming out to their parents, and how should they talk to their parent? How should they, should there be a level of sympathy for their parent as well? Like, did you feel like there was, like you said earlier, there was a shock. There was a shock for you of me of going through this transition. Like, what part of that was a shock? What made it so like, whoa, like this is happening? And also, what advice could you give to kids out there, as well as even parents out there who may be watching this, video on how to kind of navigate that relationship with somebody who is transitioning, as well as the person who's transitioning. How can they deal with their parent? Like, how can they? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Well, you really have to have a strong communication. You have to build that relationship between a parent and a child. It was, for me, when I say it was a shock, it was because, like I said, it was more because of the world, the society. See, and regardless, as a parent, we should stand by our child no matter what it is. No matter what it is, what they do, we have to stand there by our child, because when we give them that support and that love and that strength from us to them, guess what? They're going to see that. They're going to become better persons. They're going to become better humans. They're going to be productive. They're going to be creative. I'm going to say I wasn't scared, because I was scared. And then still I am, actually. Even doing this, I'm afraid, because not everybody has the same mindset of handling this situation.
Like acceptance.
Yes. And it's not even accept, because regardless, you have to accept your child for whoever. Because regardless, we gotta remember, we live in borrowed time, and we have to make our lives the best that we can in this world. And parents, be there for your children no matter what, because they're your children. You can't deny it, regardless. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna take time, because exactly like when they change their name, that's another thing.
I remember that. I remember at one point you did feel like it was almost like I remember that conversation.
Like, I wish that they were born and said, well, this is the name that I chose. You know, we choose names, but I feel like I wish I could just say, well, this is the name I would like. But it's okay, because...
So you felt like you wanted to be a little included more in what name which you were, though, because
I was, yes,
you were included. For me specifically, when I
in
was
the courthouse,
choosing my name, I was, if you remember, I was between Matthew, because you kept calling, and my mom struggled with calling me Micah, and she kept calling me Matthew or Matt. And so for like the first like 6 to 8 months, you just kept calling me. She just kept calling me Matt. She was like, I like Matt. Like, you look like a Matthew to me. If you would have been born a boy, I would have just named you Matthew. Like, I like the name Matthew for you. And then I was like, all right, Mom, well, if you like that, like, whatever. But I'm still gonna probably change my name to Micah, because that feels like more me. Remember, I was like, I'll probably change my name to Micah, but you'll be the only person who could call me Matt or Matthew. And then, like, after a couple more months after that, I remember you were like, you know what? I like Micah. Like, Micah sounds... Mike or Micah is good for you.
Yeah, and you know what's weird? I want to share this with you guys. That the day we went to the court, because there was a courthouse out here, right? We went to the courthouse. The judge was the most humblest person. And the court officer as well. They were humble. It was peaceful. It was me, my son, and his wife, the judge, and the court officer. And it was so funny. You ever seen that movie, Jim Carrey?
Liar, Liar.
Yes, that one.
I was so nervous, yeah.
And it was, for me, when I say it was a shock, it was because, like I said, it was more because of the world, the society. See, and regardless, as a parent, we should stand by our child no matter what it is. No matter what it is, what they do, we have to stand there by our child, because when we give them that support and that love and that strength from us to them, guess what? They're going to see that. They're going to become better persons. They're going to become better humans. They're going to be productive. They're going to be creative. I'm going to say I wasn't scared, because I was scared. And then still I am, actually. Even doing this, I'm afraid, because not everybody has the same mindset of handling this situation. You know, there was asking him questions, and he was pouring the water, and it was weird because we both got the same thing. We both got the same thing.
If I find the scene, I'm going to include the scene somewhere in here
Sure.
where he's literally pouring the cup and he's drinking from it in the courtroom, and he's like, just spits all the water out, yeah.
But you know what? He was the most sweetest, kind, respectful, and that made me feel good. That really made me feel good. And I was sitting right behind him, supporting him, because you know why, parents? You know why? Because we have to be there for them. We have to stand by them. Because if we stand by them, guess what? We can change the world and have a better place in this world. Because you know why? My son is productive. My son works. My son gives to society. My son will give his shirt off his back for you. Okay? That's the way he is. And you know what? we should be there for them. And if you feel that you have to be scared or worry what people think, no. Don't worry about what anybody thinks. You know why? Because regardless, you're the mom, you're the dad, okay? Brother, sister, cousin, aunt, uncle, grandparents. Guess what? This is still our family. We are blood, and blood should stick together. And that I do say from the bottom of my heart. I love my son to death. And we should be there for them because you know what? We live in borrowed time. Today we're here, tomorrow we're not.
So now, what advice would you give to the trans man or trans woman, the child that's watching this?
Open with who you are. Be open to yourself first because you have to think. Bring the inner spirit inside who you are. Bring it out there and show it. Show it. Because how you see yourself inside of you is who you are outside of you.
Oh.
And once you bring that out, be honest. And if your parents ask you questions, be honest with them. Be honest with yourself first. And if they ask you, be honest. And if they get rough, because some do. If they get rough, they're showing you whatever, you know what, be honest to yourself because it's your life, your body, and you gotta be happy with yourself, who you choose to be. And stick to who you are. You don't have to get nasty or, or disrespectful, and give the parents time. Eventually, most of them will open their mind and their hearts. Believe me, they will. I know I completely did it. I never regret it. And I mean this sincerely, the bottom of my heart.
Yeah, I know, I feel like there wasn't really times where you didn't accept me or anything. I wouldn't say that. There were times where you struggled with gendering me. There was times where my mom...
natural.
Yeah, my mom sometimes would have trouble calling me he. Even, like I said, calling me Matt or Micah. Sometimes you had trouble and you would say my old name, which we're not going to say because it's nobody's business what my old name was. But, there was times where you would do that, and then you would catch yourself, though, a lot, and you'd be like, I'm sorry. And there were some times where you wouldn't catch yourself, and I would, correct you, but you never got mad at me for it. We had, and I'm saying all of this because I know a lot of times I see in the community online where people will say, well, your parents should automatically be able to say that. And it's it doesn't mean that your parent doesn't accept you, because I don't feel like in that moment you didn't accept me. It was that it took time for you to call me something different.
Exactly. Sometimes it's okay to correct your parents, say it with respect, and we understand, believe me. But if you say in a rough way or force, or you got to accept me this way, or this is who I am, you know what? It's better to win with sugar than with salt. Believe me what I tell you. Because it gives them time. Because sometimes the parents, even if you have, the old school, I was raised with old school. But the old school, sometimes it's a little difficult. But I'm going to tell you right now, older people are the best one that do accept it. And I know.
You know why? And I kind of agree with that to a certain degree, because you have to understand as well, a lot of the older people, they're the ones that fought for the rights that we have now.
That's true.
I was talking, I actually brought this up in the last video. If you didn't watch that video, I'll link it somewhere up the top here that you can watch it, about coming out at your job or being afraid of losing your job and things like that. I talk about a woman who's about 80 years old, and she's from that age. She was in Stonewall riots. She was involved in, she founded a lot of different organizations for queer people of color and just queer people in general, very prominent figure in the community. This is someone who's 80 years old, but who fought for some of the rights that we have today, even for gay marriage and things of that nature that we just got 7 years ago. So, I think that a lot of times we are biased in the way that we look at the world and the way that we look at people. We assume that if they're older than us, they're shitty people and they're too stuck in their ways. But we have to take into account that a lot of these older people, have helped pave the way for our generation now to have access to resources that they didn't have access to before. So I guess we probably made this video a little bit long, so we're probably going to stop here. But I just want to leave you guys with this. Give your parents time. The relationship that you're seeing now between my mother and I took many, many years. And a lot of it wasn't even related to me being trans. It was other issues. So sometimes it's not even about you being trans. It could be literally
natural. natural too.
Yeah, it could be other issues that
Yeah.
you're having with that in that relationship with your parent that they may not be able to communicate to you, or you're not able to communicate to them, and your thinking is just about you being trans, and it could be something else. I mean, the main point we want to leave you with is communicate with your parent. Communicate with them. You know, be open to understanding where they're coming from. Hopefully they'll be open to understanding where you are coming from. And if at the end of the day that love, communication, and understanding can't be reached, then walk away from the relationship amicably. You know, don't be bitter, don't be angry. You know, at the end of the day, it's all love. Like, you could still love people and not have them in your life. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in hearing more from Mama Mike here, we're gonna call you Mama Mike. So if you're more interested in seeing more videos with Mama Mike and hearing her advice on whether you're a parent of a transgender person, or you are the transgender person who needs advice from the parent, let us know in the comments, and we might make another video later, who knows. So that's it for this video. I love you guys. Take care of yourself. Be safe out there. Make good decisions. Peace. Put it up, Ma. Put it up. Nah, peace.